Hello, this is the One Episode Rule, a podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie. Watched exactly one more episode of anime immediately before the podcast so that I could say that I watched more Ghost in the Shell, which is good.
It's good. I saw a little. I caught bits and pieces here and there.
I also acquired a number of high quality scans of old anime that I'll probably be getting into sometime.
Yep.
Um, through mysterious means not available to the general public. Um,
Well, fine then. Keep
anyway,
your secrets.
what have you been up to, Jojo,
Oh,
who is here?
hi. I'm Joey, and I am here on this podcast. Um, I was considering watching another episode of Chainsmoker Cat, and I just didn't get to it. I've had other stuff going on, and I've
You
been busy as hell.
you're going to become our smoker cat correspondent for the
Yes,
runtime.
I will be the chain smoker. Uh, concierge. Is that a word?
No, that's
That's not right, is it?
it's a word, but it's not appropriate to the situation.
What am I trying to think of?
Not sure.
Oh, anyhow.
Dawson.
No, probably not that one, but it doesn't matter. Um, but yeah, I beefed it on watching anything else.
Do you want some news?
Yeah, let's have some
We
news.
only have two news because all the other news I could find was depressing, and I didn't want to read about it. But okay, first news. Sonic Blade of Courage creator has been left upset following the manga's English debut on IDW because all of the comments are attributing its authorship and art to different fucking people who are not even Japanese.
Oh no.
uh, quote, I've never felt so insulted, says Yuki Imada, after discovering what appears to just be incorrect reviews attached to the manga's newly released English edition.
Well, that's so sad.
People are just attributing the art and story to two different English language creators. What is it? Yes, somebody attributes the story to Ian Flynn, and the other one praised Tracy Yardley's artwork, neither of whom worked on it. I can't imagine this is anything other than just like a crack in the app's uh, like facade. Because I think the only way this happens is if they post this and then they post 3 or 4 fake reviews to boost whatever they just released, and the reviews were probably AI,
Oof, that's
which
rough.
did not take into account the actual author.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because
Oof.
if I remember correctly, those two are just other Sonic creators. What a fucking disaster. But what's not a disaster is that they're going to make the first Galaxy Express 999 product in like 50 years. The last one was in 1979, and it was by Rintaro, who is coming back to make another movie. I've only seen one of Rintaro's movies, Metropolis, and I thought it was pretty fucking baller. So yeah, that's cool news. Especially if you want to get into this kind of shit. I think Galaxy 999 was a Leiji Matsumoto thing, but don't quote me. Um, yeah, it was. I'm right. I'm a genius. I've always wanted to get into Leiji's shit because it's like archaic proto anime. He's the creator of Captain Harlock, for instance. But that's the news. That's what we got. Do you want to know what we're gonna watch?
Yes, what have you brought for us this time?
So on the Yanni Neko episode, I said we had a choice between something kind of nasty and something that was probably very good.
Okay, so we're watching a good one this time,
We're going to
probably.
watch the probably very good one, uh, Jaadugar, A Witch in Mongolia.
Oh, I don't know that I've heard of
It's
this.
time. It's time for more Science Saru. Science Saru will continue
Until morale improves,
until
yes.
morale improves.
We're gonna need a lot more.
I already have a favorable view of this show because, as you know, it is every weeaboo's duty to seek knowledge. Ab- Absolutely not. Weebs are some of the most incurious people I've ever.
I mean,
Power scale Satara right now. How's she doing against Goku?
sighs deeply.
Is she planetary at the very least?
She could be. I mean, maybe.
Will you read this blurb for me?
Yes, I will. Ahem. In the harem of the Khan, wisdom is beauty. The time, the 13th century. The place, Yeke Mongol Ulus, the greatest empire the world has ever known. The woman, Fatima, hailing from Persia, where medical technique and scientific knowledge have been perfected beyond all precedent. Fatima's desire for a stage where she can put her knowledge to work has brought her to the palace of the Mongols, where she falls under the wing of Torrigen? Torgen?
Just go.
The sixth wife of Ogde, the second great Khan, a mighty woman with complicated feelings about the direction of the empire. These two women are the axle upon which the politics of the palace, and soon the very world, will turn.
This is an anime about slaves.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
I was really disturbed when that was like the first scene. I was like, "Oh, we're hiring a servant for the household." No, they're not hiring anyone. They're buying
They're
them.
buying them. So here's the deal. Your perception of slavery has a lot to do with time and with place. Obviously, as Americans, our understanding of it is closely related to plantation horrors.
Right.
But in much of the old world, it was not nearly as bad.
Yeah, like these people are obviously not free, but they're being treated quite well
They're being treated
as far as yeah,
politely at the very
exactly.
least. Um, so our main story is opens up. We are opening up in the Iranian city of Tus, which I don't think is there anymore.
Probably not.
um, but we're following a young girl who wraps herself in a bed sheet and of uh, sneaks out of the home of a slave trader, basically, to wander the city and to look upon the architecture of the great mosque at its center, which, by the way, reminds me of a painting. If any of you ever get a chance to look at it, look at the painting, "The Blue Mosque." It's a painting of a ruin from Persia from about this era, and it's gorgeous.
And that is the first thing we need to note about this show is that it is beautiful.
It is gorgeous. Um, it has a very soft sort of like pastels look to it, and I'm not talking about the colors. I'm talking about literally the material pastels. That's sort
Yeah.
of a chalky
I was going to say this
quality to
looks
it.
like very storybook,
It's
like
very
children's stories.
it's very storybook. Uh,
Actually what this also makes me think of stylistically is what is the little the one we watched about the little mute kid?
oh, but oh my God,
Why has his name has slipped my
Ranking
tongue?
of Kings.
Ranking of Kings. This
Uh,
reminds me of Ranking of Kings a little bit in that they're very squishy characters.
yeah,
It's very pleasant and squishy and
which makes the main character Satara actually extremely cute.
yes,
She's an adorable child.
she's very adorable.
Uh, and yeah, she sneaks out, and whenever she is caught, she is not beaten or anything. The man the man who has been looking for her the whole time just goes, "What's gotten into you?
He's like, "Oh, come back
You're such
home,
a troublesome child."
you little scamp. Let's go."
And then we cut to the mistress Fatima and her personal servant, whose name cannot I cannot remember because it is an Eastern European name. Because I believe that her family is well, she's first of all, she's blonde and blue eyed.
Yeah, she's a white girl.
She is from the Baltics area. Um, and her name begins with Z and goes on for several syllables. So, um, but she she is walking with the mistress Fatima, who is in her she is in her mourning clothes because her husband has just died. So she has to wear her black robes for something like 6 months. I'm familiar with what it would have been at this time. And they're walking in the bazaar, and they're just like, and it's a wonderful scene. I love it. But and they're just like, it's so full of life here. And her and Lady Z, we'll call her Lady Z for now. Uh,
Zumold, I believe, is what it is.
Something like that. Yeah. Uh, says to her, it's just like, we should come back shopping whenever your mourning period is up. It's just like, yeah, yeah, we will. And they stop off where they're supposed to. Zumold. Yeah, you're right. It's not as bad as I thought it was at all. I don't know why I thought it was going to be worse. But and they stop off at this man's establishment, and it becomes clear that this man is a purveyor of slaves. Uh,
Yeah.
so, despite the fact that he acts fatherly to them, they all actually appear to be relatively happy,
In
well
fact,
cared for and clean. Uh,
it's funny because when he's like introducing them, they're just like, "Oh, me, I can do it."
Me, I can do it. You people look nice. Um, you don't you don't look evil. But anyway, yeah, the women are, he's touting their abilities as seamstresses and cooks and cleaners, which is what you used to do back in the day. Again, unlike the American form of slavery, which was devoted basically to manual farm labor. Um, a lot of slaves back in the day got sold on their unique skills. This was true across pretty much all of the ancient world, from Rome to the thralls that the Scandinavian people would take on their raids. Uh, but anyway, yeah, they all seem relatively well off. And despite the fact that man should die, he is engaged in chattel slavery. His bones should bleach in the sun.
Well, I mean, good
But that's all
news
I have to say
is
about
that
that.
it's been a long time, so he's definitely dead now.
Um, well, I have a pretty good idea of what's about to happen to him in the next episode.
Yeah, he might. He's. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think a lot of them are gonna make
You know what?
it.
I think it oddly prophetic when Temujin said that he was the wrath of God. Maybe he had something going for it. But anyway, he offers him up, and yeah, they're looking for somebody to help with the cleaning, because uh, there's only Zaman Mold and the men, her brother and son, uh, and nobody to help. And it's too much for Zamold. So he's just like, oh, she's very good with cleaning. And clear. The funny thing is this girl. We don't actually even really catch this girl's name, but she is clearly just a Marie Kondo bit, because she just goes, the key to cleaning is not what you want to get rid of, but what you want to keep.
Yeah.
And she does mention sparking joy later.
Oh, that's funny. I watched the English dub, so I think they didn't even put that joke in.
Oh man, that's a shame.
That's a shame.
It's a good joke. It hits. Um, and they're just like, well, how much will it be? And then they negotiate over this human's life. But he says, well, I could let her go for 800 drachm. And they say, oh, I know they're not cheap, but that's a little much. Could and Zumold starts negotiating. The slave is negotiating the prices on the other slave. Uh,
Well, I mean, she's the most trusted one, I guess.
Again, as an American, shit reads really weird, but it is shit that happened. This used to happen in Rome all the fucking time, where you would have slaves buying other slaves for different purposes because they were head slave of the slave finance department. It was very. There was a point during Roman history in which they employed an entire government ministry of enslaved people to look after the city's finances. And as far as I know, none of them did any crime. Which I would be doing financial crime at that point, but whatever. This is not what this podcast is about. So
It is beyond our scope.
he says, well, and he takes a weight off of his scale, and he says, I could let her go for half price. And they say, oh. He's just like, but I have a little bargain I have to make. And he says, come on, come, child. And Sitara from the first comes out. She's an incredibly appealing character design. she's got like she's got like really long black curly hair,
That just pokes out from
just
her
pokes
little.
out from everywhere.
And she's got these like sparkly multicolor eyes that are
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
really
they're green
round.
and purple, which I think is supposed to be selling hazel, uh, which is nice. And he says, "Come here, child. Do as I taught you." And she throws on a big beaming smile, and she says, uh, "Sitara here is very bright, but she'll need some polishing. And yours is a scholarly household, is it not? Was your husband was a scholar? If you could take her on for a while and teach her, I could offer you a steep discount." And they say, "Well, I don't know." And then the next scene is back at their household. Uncle, a character who is not given a name, he just says, "You took that deal?" He's just like, "Yeah, well, like we needed somebody to help with the cleaning. It's just like all you'd have to do is teach her some. You're the only one qualified in this. I am still in my mourning period. I believe her religious obligations demand that she not do such things at that time.
Yeah,
Uh,
probably.
and you're the only educated person left in the house." And he says, all right." And I like the little book stand because they spend most of the time sitting on the floor in this household. This is 13th century Iran. People are not sitting in chairs. They're mostly sitting on the floor. Interesting lifestyle. I wonder if it's applicable to the modern day. I know a lot of
Not sure.
Japanese people still like to sit on the floor,
I
but
mean, listen, I myself like floor
who
time,
doesn't
but
like floor time? I imagine in medieval Iran, floor time was fucking vital, given how fucking cool, how much cooler the
yeah,
floor would have been.
they ain't got AC.
um, so he sets out the Quran on the book stand, and in between them, and he just says, "The first step to any knowledge is to is recitation. So you must begin to unhesitatingly recite the Quran." And he's just like, "I will start," and he starts. He's just like, uh, "By the mercy of Allah, all things are possible." Um, and he recites the first stanza, and he looks at her, and she beams him a great big smile.
And he's
And he says,
like,
"And now you."
she doesn't say anything.
And she doesn't say anything. She just keeps smiling at him. And this apparently goes on for like 20 minutes until he takes Fatima aside. And he's just like, "She is hopeless. She has no talent whatsoever." It's just like, it's like, no matter what I say to her, she just smiles at me. It's just like, I will pay back. I will pay back out of my own money the discount that you got. Just like summon the man. It's just like, okay, we'll go and we'll summon him up here to take you away. And she turns to Sitar and she just says, "Just wait here a moment." And she closes the door. And Sitara, as soon as the door closes, the smile just disappears completely from her face, and she's like, "I have to get out of here right now."
It's funny because when all this was happening, I was wondering if they were gonna do a thing where this like she couldn't even talk,
Where she could, where she didn't like speak Persian. I
or
thought that for
yeah.
a second.
Well, I was like, oh no, no, she's just playing dumb.
It's just like, no, she's not dumb at all. Uh, she wants to escape.
Yeah.
uh, and yeah, she immediately sneaks the fuck out and starts trying to find her way out of this relatively large estate. These people appear to be quite well off. Um, and uh and yeah, it's a beautifully animated scene. Like, it's really exciting just in general. Like, she's got to dodge Mrs. Mold and Uncle and everything, as they all just walk from place to place on tasks that won't be explained at all. They kind of take on the role of like stealth game guards at this point. uh until she gets so lost she ends up in the interior courtyard, uh where uh where a young boy is adjusting what appears to be an astrolabe, trying to make some calculations. And she's just like looking at him. She's like, "Huh?" And she goes down to crawl, and her headdress gets caught on a branch and just falls off on the ground as she crawls around the corner. And she pops up beside him and she says, "Would you happen to know where the exit is?" And he says, "It's improper for for your hair to be out." And she just looks at him and just says, "I'm little."
She's like, dude, I'm like 10.
She's like, "I'm little, and you're not even a man yet." Yeah, he bristles at that a little, but she's just like, "So would you happen to know where the exit is, young Mohammed?" Because it had been noted earlier by the slave trader that young Mohammed here was a rising star, even in Tus, in the world, a world of scholars. He was a well-educated young man. Uh, and he's somewhat flustered, but Zamald actually catches up with him. She's like, "There you are." And she's just like, "I just wanted to see the roses." And he just said, "She asked me where the exit was."
Very funny.
And they pack her away into the room that she was at before. Uh, why wouldn't you continue with your studies? She's like, "I don't want to study." It's just like, "Well, why wouldn't you want to study?" And if you study and you become wise, you might get sold to a wealthy household. Well, they'll take good care of you, and you'll be a servant to like a high ranking person. She's like, "I don't want that. I want to get dumber. I don't want to be sold anymore. I don't want to go places where I don't know where I am."
She's, yeah,
She's
honestly,
terrified.
like, this is an understandable reaction to being a slave.
She's like, "I want to go back and live in the house I lived with my mother in." And it's just like, well, well, her master sold you off, didn't he? It's just like the child doesn't know that or want or care about that. She just doesn't want to be sent to the ass ends of the earth without knowing where she is. Thus, she doesn't want to learn. And young Muhammad is there for a moment. He says, "Zamald, can you bring me the biggest basin from the kitchen?" She's like, "Well, yes, sir." And she goes to get it, and she's like, come with me, Sitara." And she's like, "Where are we going?" And he leads her all the way up to the roof of the tallest building in the estate. And she's like, "Why are we up here?" And Zamald comes up with the pan, uh, and she says, "I just wanted to show you something." She's like, "Is it?" And she's like, "Is this large enough, young master?" And she's like, "Oh, yes, yes, of course." And he takes it, and he just says, "I'm going to drop this off the roof."
He just immediately
And he just
chunks it.
drops this big brass pan off the roof into the courtyard, and it makes this hellacious fucking noise, this cymbal crash.
E-
And they see
ev-
it falling, and they cover their ears.
Everyone in the courtyard starts, oh god, we're being
Everyone in the house
attacked!
just runs in the courtyard. Is like, "Are we being attacked? What's happening?
Very
Is the
funny.
house on fire?" And they find it, and they start talking to each other confusedly. And he's looking down at them, and he's just like, "Huh? They're all aflutter, aren't they?" And Zamel is just like, "Young master, your prank went too far." And she's just like, "Well, why aren't you panicking?" "Well, we covered our ears, so we knew there was going to be a big noise." It's like, you predicted it, did you not? From the information that you knew. That's what studying is. uh,
We can always know more.
Satara. It's just like you're scared now because you're someplace you don't know amongst people you've never met. It's natural to be frightened by information that you don't know. But the more you study, the more you'll be able to understand the world around you, and the less you'll fear it. I was just like, this is correct. So he convinces Satira to study, uh, and she starts to take. Um, Although she still has her problems. She keeps saying that she can't recite the Quran like Uncle does. But she's getting better over time, and she's taking on her duties with the rest of them. Meanwhile, young Muhammad has kind of his own problems. Uh, he runs into her one time while she's studying the Quran herself. And she, she's without her headdress, and she's stepped out for a second. And he's just like, "Haven't I asked you not to do that?" And she says, "I'm little." And you're still a boy. And he's just like, "Oh, I am not a I am not a child." He's just like, do you still underestimate me as well?" And they go to have a talk in the garden. And he basically says, it's just like, "I think I'm going to go on a journey. My teachers here don't answer my questions. They're like, I was being taught the law by somebody my father knew, but he doesn't answer my questions anymore. He whenever I ask them, he says, you're far too young to understand. You don't have the experience to understand." Which has got to be, which, yeah, is frustrating, because somebody will just give you a non-answer to a question that, if they had actually answered it, would have taught you something. He's just being a curmudgeonly old ass. And he doesn't want to. It appears to be a group learning situation in which this man is tutoring several young men. And clearly the answer is he doesn't want to interrupt his lesson plan to explain himself. Um, which is kind of like abdicating your responsibility as a teacher. But he says,
But
I want to go on a journey. I want to learn from not just my law teacher, but I want to learn from, like, real scholars in, like, Nishapur, which is known for them. And even further, I want to visit other places, learn from people who aren't even fucking Muslims. Would you believe it?
he he wants like one-on-one knowledge. Like,
He wants to study in the most famous places known to the Persian world. Like, he wants to learn the arts of medicine and astronomy and so forth. So he does. He sets it up fully fully like, no, the time skip is later. Yeah, he gets it set up over time, and eventually it's time for him to go, like, to go on his long journey. Uh, and this is after another scene in which Sitara was like, burned some bread or something because she wasn't paying attention. She was thinking about how admirable it was that he wanted to expand beyond his boundaries like that. Um, and she has another conversation with the cleaning woman, who they straight up do not even name in the My Anime list. So her name is Marie.
that's
um,
funny.
uh, and they have a conversation. It's just like it's you're so distracted. You failed at too many tasks recently. And she basically just lays it down. It's just like, yeah, like, we could, slaves are sometimes chosen to practice their special skills, or to be educated to entertain their masters, or maybe even receive a pledge to be freed for their service. But don't aim too high. We don't get to choose that sort of thing. We are property, not people. Which is not the sort of thing I would, if I was stuck being a chattel slave at that time. Not the sort of thing I would be saying to other slaves, unless I planned to end that sentence with, "So we should kill them tonight."
Let us up, let us rise.
Just murder them all in their sleep. So, uh, the day that Muhammad's going to leave has come. They've saddled him up a little donkey, which is very funny.
The donkey was cute.
And his uncle is apparently going to take him part of the way, but he'll be going the rest of the way to Nishapur on his own. So it's a significant journey for the young master. Uh, oh, and Fatima has finally
Oh yeah, she's like out of mourning now.
she's left her mourning period, and she's nervous, actually, because she gets to dress in her own clothes again, and she's going to visit the bathhouse later. She's just like, "I'm actually a little nervous to go in to see the other women again." Um, but they go to see him off, uh, and he says, "Girl, Satira, you you don't know how to read, do you?" And she says, "No, I can't read. I can't really read yet." And she says, "I'm going to write you letters." And I'm going to keep them simple, because if I'm to be a teacher one day, I must learn to communicate my knowledge to young children. And she's like, oh, you're going to practice on me.
You know what? It's smart and it's nice.
So take care to read them to my mother, will you? And she's just like, oh well, yeah, of course. Um, and yeah, so he heads off. He goes to Nishapur. Uh, and the first letter back they get, or is this before or after the time skip? When she gets,
Uh,
it's after. It's after the time skip. Um, so 8 years pass after he leaves for Nishapur. This is the last time they will ever see each other face to face. He will become a renowned scholar, and she has an even stranger destiny. But they will never
it's
ever see each other again.
yeah, it's about to get really weird in here.
Um, 8 years later, uh, she is effortlessly reciting the Quran, but she still finds flaws in her own recitation. Um, whenever Zemold comes in and throws open the windows, because the army is in the streets. The militia of Tus is heading out. And she says, my little brother's down there somewhere, Mikhail, and she describes to I keep forgetting her name. Why? Sitara. Uh, she keeps describing to Sitara, just like, oh yeah, we're from far away, far away to the west, from the shore of the sea, uh, where it used to, where the
We
sunset
used
used
to
to
have
paint
the
everything
beautiful,
purple.
yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, Zamolda's going to die soon. That's the sort of memory that you leave behind in a story when you're not going to make it. Uh,
And oh
and
boy, like
and
I said, a
and
lot of people I think are about to die because oh shit.
and neither is young Mikhail, because young Mikhail is down there with the militia, um, headed out. And she says, "Well, why are they headed out?" It's just like, well, some armed nomads were seen in the area, and they're scouting out to see what's going on. Um, but they're interrupted. They're interrupted because a letter has arrived, and Fatima has asked Satira to read it to her. Um, Also, I noticed that Fatima's fingers are dyed now, which has always been an interesting thing to me. Dyeing your fingertips with henna, which is something that Satira will be doing later, if I remember correctly, because the intro showed her stepping out of her tent with her red fingers. But yeah, she sits down to read the letter from Muhammad, and Muhammad talks about it's just like, Nishapur has been wonderful. I have learned from the most knowledgeable men around. I've learned the arts of medicine. I've learned the arts of astronomy. Uh, Science, as a teacher, is based upon the learnings of living scholars, and thus I find it more palatable than religious learning, which is rote recitation. If you would you introduce young uh, Sitora to the works of Euclid and Ptolemy?
We're gonna do fucking math.
We're going to do some fucking math. And yeah, Fatima says, "Oh, yes, I should do that." And she lights a lamp and takes her down to where they keep the books. And the books are kept in a small, dark room that has been meticulously cared for, because books in this era are worth way more than their own weight in gold. And starts to introduce Satara to like natural philosophy. Uh, it starts with Euclid, and she's just like, okay, a line is a demarcation, and each end of the line is a point. She's like, well, this is all obvious, and she's like, is that true? Is it obvious? She's like, maybe I should pick something else. And she reaches over and she picks up, I forget the fucking title of the book. It's one of the foundational works of natural philosophy, and she says it's just like, did you know that the circumference of the earth is this exact figure and the radius of the earth is this exact figure? She's like, well, how did he learn that? Did he go to the ends of the earth? And she's like, that's not possible. No, he calculated it from the
Triangulated
from
it with the mountains.
triangulated it from the top of a mountain to the earth's core. And she says, "You can do that?" And she's just like, "You can measure the Earth. You can also measure the Earth with shadows cast by obelisks." And she's like, "That's amazing." And they're interrupted by Zemold, who bursts into the room. Is it Zemold that bursts into the room? Somebody
I don't know.
bursts into the room. I think it's Zemold. It's not Zemold. It's Uncle, or yeah, I believe it's Uncle. He bursts into the room and he just says, and they just say, What's wrong?" And he just says, "The militia has been defeated by the nomads." And then we cut out to these nomads. These are not just nomads. These are uh, advanced members of a keshig, of a regiment of the army of. Uh, I believe perhaps it might be Temujin. It might be Genghis Khan,
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be Genghis Khan. That's what I assumed, at least.
but he's not present even. Uh,
They show like the battlefield, and it's like a wasteland. It's
it's
bad out there.
it's the entire militia of Tus, peppered with arrows, with steppe nomads carefully plucking arrows from them because they are a resourceful people who would not leave such things to rot in the sun.
They're like going around like stabbing the corpses and shit.
Finishing them off, they're taking what they
It's
can.
crazy.
And one of them reports this, just say, "The fools who raised their arms against us have been destroyed. We will enter their city in days." And their commandant says, "Are there any scholars in Tus?" Just like, "Sir?" This is like, "Well, I have something I'm looking for." And that's the end of the episode. Now, I don't know if uh, Satura, unfortunately, is going to be absorbed into the Mongol world. I don't know if uh, I don't know if Genghis's court is her first destination, actually, because I believe the first group of nomads that she ends up with are not even Mongols. They are ethnically different. They are one of the many steppe peoples that were eventually um, subjugated by the Mongols. But this is exciting. The next episode is going to be horribly violent. I know
Yes.
this.
Oh boy.
Judging by what Genghis did to Baghdad, um,
It's another one of those, folks. You
mm,
very cute anime with some very scary moments.
I would say it is basically going to be similar to Vinland Saga in some ways. Bad shit is going to happen to Censor, and it's probably going to be worse because she's going to have significantly less ability to physically defend herself.
I was also thinking of the one we watched with the he was like noble somehow, but he was really fast.
Oh, you're thinking of the elusive
The elusive
samurai?
samurai, that's what it was called.
Yeah, I need to watch more of the elusive samurai.
Yeah.
But things are going to go poorly for her, and I assume that given the show's focus, it is going to be about using using knowledge to preserve yourself. This is how clearly how she becomes the witch
Yeah.
of the tent, which is the literal translation.
It's gonna be very interesting for sure.
What do you think about this show overall?
It was really good. Like, I got to the end of the episode and I was like, wait, that's it? Which is always a good sign because I'm just like, oh yeah, no, tell me more. um, it was I liked basically everything about it. Like it was gorgeous to look at for every second of everything.
Yeah,
The story was well paced and intriguing. Like this was just good. I can't think of almost any other anime that I've ever seen that has like Muslim characters. Like
yeah.
it's interesting.
Other than bit characters,
Yeah, exactly. Which, yeah,
this is going to dive. From what I know, this is going to dive very extensively into medieval Iranian culture and of course steppe culture,
yeah, it's very like it's different. I like
to the
that it's
point where
telling a different
it has
story.
actually managed to piss off people from both of those regions who don't know their history all that well.
Uh oh.
um, I did in fact see many Muslims arguing with each other on Twitter about Jaadugar and whether how appropriate her hair covering was. But yeah, it sounds like the author did an incredible amount of research into both regions, and I'm fascinated to see where it's going to go. In the same way that I'm actually fascinated to like watch Golden Kamuy for its like historical
Yeah.
period. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna watch more of this.
Yeah,
I
no,
love
I'm
Science Saru. They fucking rule.
they do it. They
I
did
mean,
it
nobody
again.
does it like them.
They did it again. Yeah, I will be watching more of this at some point. Yeah, well, you know how my watch history has been, but I
Hmm.
wanna, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So yeah, watch more of this.
Watch this
It is
one.
your
It's
duty
good.
to watch this.
Uh,
It is your duty to calculate the circumference of the Earth,
come
and
back.
you can do that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
That is one the word, not the number. You can DM us your math homework on Twitter or Blue Sky. We are at One Episode Cast.
I will not understand it. I am
Uh,
not a good Muslim. I did not learn my math very well.
damn, unfortunate. You're gonna be killed by the Mongols
All I
soon.
have is an instinctual understanding of geometry.
Yeah, you know what? That might be good enough to save you. It might be. It might be.
um,
Wait, how are we watching this the same day that I downloaded The Legend of Kimori?
I don't know.
That's crazy, right?
It's almost as if it was
It's
planned.
almost as if it was planned.